On this episode of the Mamas con Ganas podcast, I'm going to be talking about how to attract more abundance into your life. This is part 2 of a series on money on the Mamas con Ganas podcast, all about how to vibrate with the energy of abundance. So the first episode with regards to this in English was episode 137. And I spoke about how to create a sacred relationship with money and how the pillars of a healthy relationship also apply to the relationship that we have with money and abundance in our lives. And on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about money blocks and things that you might be doing to block or reject the energy of abundance in your life. And I think it's important to examine those things because in examining those things that are blocking money into our lives, we can identify them, and then we can start acting differently. We can start changing our behavior, and it can sort of be that light bulb that goes on in our head when we're like, yes, I'm guilty of that. Maybe I should change my ways. So I am back in Miami. I was in Cincinnati for several days last week. I was spending it with one of my best friends from middle school, my friend Amy. I was in Cincinnati. Cincinnati was actually where I moved after I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. And then I moved to Cincinnati for 4 years, and I moved to France. I moved back to Cincinnati. In any case, I have some beautiful memories of Cincinnati, and I was spending it with my girlfriend. I hadn't been there in 10 years. And I had my 25th high school reunion. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's been 25 years. I feel like it was yesterday that I graduated. I still feel like the same teenager sometimes. And then I'm back in Miami. I got the stomach flu, mamacita. I'm not gonna lie, I have been completely under the weather. I got sick with a stomach flu about 2 days ago. I was in bed all day yesterday, recouping my energy. And so today I am still in like a funk, but I am determined to get this episode out for you because I know that you have been enjoying this series on money. So yes, today I'm going to talk about money blocks, those things that you might be doing to block the energy of abundance in your life. And number one money block number one, and I think this is like very, 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 very important. And if you struggle with this, then I think it is of utmost importance to basically remove this money block from your life. And it is this: envy. So envy, the emotion of envy, is a huge money block. And I'll explain why. Envy is a huge money block because, well, first of all, I'm going to read you the definition of envy. So envy is a feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. So in essence, when we feel envy, we are discontent by what somebody else has, their fortune or their abundance. And so this acts as a money block because we are rejecting, in essence, somebody's abundance and somebody's fortune. And what the universe interprets this is as an interpretation of us rejecting money altogether and rejecting abundance altogether. Because here's the deal, mamacita. Whatever we wish other people is in essence what we're wishing upon ourselves. So when we hold that negative energy and that negative emotion of envy, we are rejecting all of abundance. It's not just somebody else's abundance, it's abundance in general. So that's why it's so important to work on our envy if that is a problem that we have. And how do we work on this, you might want to know? Well, we're going to want to start to celebrate other people's abundance. In order to celebrate our own abundance, we can first start by celebrating somebody else's abundance. Celebrating abundance in general, being happy and excited for somebody else's success, somebody else's fortune, somebody else's abundance and money and riches, their luxuries. When we start celebrating all those things in general, we are attracting and we're getting on the vibrational energy of money. So if you start feeling envy at any moment, just first of all, recognize it, and then say a little prayer and send that person really good energy. And send them energy, like be happy for them, be grateful for that other person's abundance. You can still want what they have for yourself. Let's say they have this beautiful car that you want, or they have a beautiful wardrobe that you would also like to have. Say to yourself, that's awesome that they have it. I would love to have that also for myself, and celebrate for them internally for you what that other person has, and send them like good, amazing vibrations to them. And it can actually get really fun celebrating other people's things. And by celebrating other people's triumphs and other people's riches and other people's luxuries, it's actually practice to celebrating the things that are to come for yourself. And I think a lot of people that are envious don't realize just how harmful that emotion is on their lives, because whatever they're, that energy, that negative energy that they're putting out to somebody else is just ricocheting back to them. So just be aware, if you have that feeling of envy come up, pray. I think praying is a very is the simplest way where we can switch our energy. We can just pray that it goes away, and celebrate what that other person has. And the more we do this, the better we can get at it. And then one day you'll wake up and you will never feel envy again, because you'll just be happy for what other people have. And you'll also be attracting all those good things for yourself. Okay, that's money block number 1. Money block number 2 is ignoring your finances. So yes, it might sound like something I said on the last podcast, but I have to say it again, because I think a lot of people, they want to attract money, they want abundance in their lives, but with the actual finances that they have, they don't pay attention to them. And so if you are struggling financially, my question to you would be, are you ignoring your finances? Do you keep a tab on what you spend on your expenses, on your debt, on the things that you owe? And a lot of times the people that are struggling with finances are the people that are not actually being responsible with them. And they're not looking at it. They're just ignoring the problem altogether. And I know that might be the tempting thing to do when you're in debt, or the tempting thing to do when you don't have, when you feel like you don't have enough resources. But I would say that the most empowering thing you can do would be to go straight to the problem, and to start really analyzing your finances, and to definitely not ignore it, because it's the same, pretty much the same thing as with envy. And it's that energy that you're sending out to the universe of like being envious to for somebody else's thing, is basically sending that negative energy of, oh, I don't like abundance, I'm rejecting somebody else's abundance. And then that's what you're attracting to yourself. Well, by ignoring abundance, you're basically sending a message to the universe that finances are not important in your life, that money's not important in your life. And that's why you choose to ignore it. So if you choose to ignore finances and money, why would money not ignore you? So we always say in self-development, where focus goes, energy flows. And that definitely applies to this money block. If you are ignoring your money, it means you're not sending any energy to it or any focus to it. And so by bringing everything to the table, and by taking a look at it, and when you stop ignoring your finances, you'll realize you'll start putting energy into that area, and it will just start, it'll seem like magically everything's coming together, but it's not magic. It's just that you're putting more focus into that aspect of your life. So definitely don't ignore your monies and your financials if you want to attract more abundance into your life. Okay, money block number 3 is limiting beliefs around money. So some people have beliefs that are limiting in terms of that's limiting their ability to step into abundance. Because, for example, they might think that they're not capable of getting rid of their debt, or they might think that they're not capable of having an abundant life, or they might think that they're not worthy of money, or they might have a belief system that says that people with money are evil, or that money in essence is evil. So if you have any of these beliefs around money that are negative, it's going to be blocking um, the energy of abundance into your life, because you're in essence saying, oh, I don't want it. I don't want it because I'm not worthy, or I don't want it because I'm not capable, or I'm not good with money. So it's really important to examine those limiting beliefs that you might have around money, and to break and to burst those limiting beliefs. And in order for us to actually do this, we need to identify what these belief systems are around money. So I do have an episode where I do talk a lot about like what your money story might be, and that's episode number 76. There's actually an exercise, like a written exercise, that also accompanies that episode. So I encourage you to go to episode number 76, and that's called Discovering Your Money Story. And when you listen to that episode, you might uncover those negative belief systems and those limiting beliefs that I'm actually talking about today. And in doing so, you can start realizing that it might be belief systems that you need to get rid of. But we are not able to do that unless we're able to identify and pinpoint first what those limiting belief systems are. Also, I created this beautiful meditation on attracting abundance, and you can get it at mamasconganas.com/abundance. It's a free meditation. And with that meditation, what I actually do is I incorporate a lot of affirmation and powerful belief systems with regards to money. So if you've never done an abundance meditation before, I encourage you to go there. Again, it's mamasconganas.com/abundance. It will also help you say things that are different with regards to money, and perhaps replace those limiting beliefs that you might have around abundance with belief systems that serve you better when you're trying to attract abundance into your life. Okay, money block number 4 is focusing always on money problems. So there are some people who literally spend their lives talking about all the money problems that they have. And that is a huge money block. When you're constantly talking about how you don't have enough money, how you're not good with money, and you're constantly focused around the problem, it does not serve you, mamacita, whatsoever. Now, if you're one of those people and you're like listening to this and going, oh my God, that's me, I'm always talking about my money problems, then what I suggest is, instead of me telling you, don't talk about your money problems, because sometimes when you say don't do something, people actually do this, they keep on doing the same, is I'm going to give you something else to focus on, right? And it's this: focus on trying to find solutions for your finances. So focus on trying to find solutions. So rather than always complaining about the money, try to figure out what you could do to better your circumstances with finances. Like, just look for solutions. That's where I'm going to leave that money block. Because when you're totally focused on, there's either two things. I always tell my children, you either have excuses or you have results, right? And I find that people that are consistently talking about money problems are basically focused on excuses. They're just making excuses and talking about this and that, and it doesn't do anything that's beneficial for them. Whereas if you're focused on trying to get results, what you're going to do is you're going to focus on trying to find solutions. There's a saying that my father-in-law says that I love, and it's this: winners find solutions and losers find excuses. So find your solutions, mamacita. They're there. And remember, whatever you are looking for is what you're going to find. So find the solutions. Alrighty then. Money block number 5 is when you don't forgive yourself for committing mistakes with money in the past. So when you're not able to let go of prior money mistakes from your past, like let's say you made a bad investment or you spent too much money on something and you're not able to move past that mistake, that could be a huge money block. That can be rejecting abundance for your future. So I think this part, I think this money block really calls for compassion, self-compassion and self-love and forgiveness of yourself for having made that mistake. And also recognizing that mistakes are just things that are there to show us like what not to do in the future. But I think we need to allow ourselves to let it go, to recognize that we are not perfect human beings. And yes, maybe we made a big money mistake in the past, but we are worthy of creating abundance for our future. I think a lot of people hold on to these mistakes that they've made, and it doesn't allow for them to show up and to step up and to actually create abundance in their lives because they're still stuck in the past. And just like a lot of times there's people that have made a bad mistake in their previous relationships, and then they're unable to commit to a new relationship because they're still stuck on that previous relationship from the past. It's the same thing with money. Remember that money is like a relationship. So when we've made money mistakes in the past, it can hold us back because we're not able to let that go. And like I said, this takes a lot of self-compassion and self-love, and it takes forgiveness of ourselves. So if that's your case, Mamacita, if you've made a money mistake in the past, and I don't think there's a person walking around that hasn't made some sort of money mistake in the past, whether it's, like I said, an investment, a bad investment, or getting into debt or spending too much on something. But I don't think it should hold you back from the future, the beautiful possibility of a future that you could create with your finances, a future where you're proud of your finances rather than feeling shame. I think you are worthy of it. So let those mistakes go from the past and step into your new future. Okay, money block number 6. Oh, this is huge, Mamacita. Oh my gosh. Yes. Money block number 6 is when you use the power of visualization against yourself. So if you've ever studied the law of attraction, or any of these principles that we always talk about with regards to self-help, we talk a lot about visualization, right? We do vision boards, we visualize our future. Like we want to try to create a strong visualization for the things that we want. Well, when it comes to money and people that are lacking in abundance, I think a lot of times what they do is they use the power of visualization against themselves. And what I mean by this is that they're constantly seeing themselves in poverty. Like there's some part of their mind that won't allow them like to see themselves in abundance. And they shut down their imagination, their abundance imagination, because again, it might be because they feel that they're not worthy of the money, or it might be for a million different reasons. But at the end of the day, what they're not doing is they're not utilizing the power of visualization, and they're actually using the power of visualization against themselves because they are constantly seeing themselves in poverty or imagining themselves as struggling. And there is no way that you will attract abundance into your life in the long term, for the long term, if you are constantly visualizing yourself in a state of poverty, and or visualizing yourself in the state of like struggling. So again, I think this is one of the really important reasons to start doing meditations on abundance and to do visualization exercises where you see yourself living abundantly And I know a lot of people feel even like guilt, or they feel unworthy in imagining themselves in luxury and in abundance. But I feel that if you don't get rid of this money block, there's nothing else that could help you. Like if you stay stuck in visualizing yourself as poor, you're just always going to be there. You have to start imagining yourself in abundance. And I think one of the first ways that you can start visualizing yourself in abundance and using the power of visualization, to your benefit, is by creating a powerful vision board. Now, I have an excellent episode on this, on how to create a powerful vision board. It's episode 121. I highly recommend it. It's actually, if not my most popular, one of my most popular episodes. And creating a vision board will just, and putting it in a place that you can see it daily will help you start visualizing yourself in abundance, because you can start putting images there on that vision board that have you focus on abundance. And lastly, the last money block that might be holding you back from your abundance is using language of scarcity. So our language, whether we are realizing it or not, is immensely powerful. The things that we say that comes out of our mouths actually ends up creating. So things are first created in our mind, right? Our visualization and our belief systems are super strong. And then usually those things are manifested. What we feel inside is usually manifested by the things that we say. So when it comes to money mindset, it's of extreme importance that we use language of abundance. So take a look at the ways that you are describing your finances, that you're talking about money, and that you are talking about abundance in your day to day. And if you are somebody who uses language of scarcity and is always focused, like usually people that have all the other money blocks, it will manifest in the way that they speak. So for example, people who have the money block of envy will speak in a particular way. People who ignore their finances, you'll actually be able to tell that they ignore their finances also by the things that they say. People who have limiting beliefs about money will also speak in a particular way. People who focus on their money problems, you'll be able to see very clearly that that's what they do. People who don't forgive themselves for a money mistake also speak of us in a certain way. And people who use visualization against themselves are usually using scarcity language. So analyze if the way that you talk about money serves you or if it doesn't serve you. Do you speak of abundance or do you speak of scarcity? Do you speak of money problems or do you speak of money solutions? So I would just become aware this week in the way that you and others around you discuss money, and start pinpointing the people that you see that have a positive relationship with money. See how they talk about money versus the people in your life that you might see always struggle with money. And I think you'll realize that the language that they use is very, very different. And then start incorporating that language of abundance into your life. Start speaking from abundance, from your abundant future. And you'll see how the language that you use will definitely start attracting abundance into your life. Well, Mamacita, I hope you like this episode, part 2 of the series of how to attract abundance. Write to me at mamasconganas.com/139 if you have any questions. I will be back next week. I love you. Besitos.
1,000,000 de gracias por suscribirte, escuchar y compartir nuestro podcast. Si tienen preguntas, comentarios y más, pueden visitar nuestra página web mamasconganas.com or follow us on social media at mamasconganas. You can also write me directly at info@mamasconganas.com. Hasta la próxima, es Valentina recordándote, don't be a mama con drama. Let's be mamas con ganas.